little pauses to me, man, that shit sounds so incredible to me. I want to get back to the song. This shit is nasty.
I'm gonna start this back from the beginning. Charismatic frontman can do a lot.
Yeah, boy.
Can do a lot for a band. They can make a band and kill a band.
Nasty though.
That is
nasty.
Wrong to me.
That is nasty.
The riffs and my man Peter Steele's voice.
Really, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me, guys. So, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. And it's never mind. Keep it going, George. just keep it going. Check us out on Patreon, guys, where we give you our exclusive access to all of our videos, 186 videos and counting.
Bangers too, though. Bangers. You know, nothing too shabby. I mean, I don't know, like a Led Zeppelin marathon. We got Metallica on there, some Megadeth stuff. You know, I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there, man.
What's up, guys? Your boys are back. I'm Ryan, my man, George.
What's up, guys? How you living out there? Shout out to the free thinkers, of course. Shout out to everybody that's been following us on Def to Radio, our Instagram, which is DEAF2 radio. We also have our website, which is also deftoradio.com. Make sure y'all follow us there. It's very important because the song that we're doing today is actually off of our Def to Radio site, off of the community post section. So make sure y'all just check out, join Def to Radio, free site for everyone. The information for that will be in the description.
And as always, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure it's set to all so you get all our videos as they drop. Up and coming artists, you know what to do, man. Click the link in the description. We'll do about 60 seconds of your song in the front of one of our up and coming videos to get you some exposure. If you're interested in that, make sure you check that out. Cool, man. So Prog Pro 96 is who's running the community poll, and we're doing the 80s extravaganza. You know, that's from that poll, 80s extravaganza. We picked this song off there. So shout out to Prog Pro and everybody that participated in that. And we will be sure to put the link for this poll in the description.
We've been fucking up. Yeah, we gotta do a better job of putting the actual link to the groups in the description. We put the general link, but not the specific link to the group. That way people can get to the group because this specific group, Community Poll, is a secret group. So again, like Ryan said, shout out to Prog Pro 96. So yeah, Pet Shop Boys, West End Girls is what won that 80s extravaganza poll. So shout out to, like Ryan said, shout out to everybody that participated in the poll. And again, make sure y'all join those groups, man, because it's fun. And that's why we're here. So shout out to the Community Poll group. Yeah, synth pop, disco, dance pop, EDM. So that's kind of what I'm getting. I don't know if I've ever heard anything from this band. I'm gonna keep it real. Pet Shop Boys sounds crazy to me. The name, I never have even heard this name. So maybe we have, because the video looks like it's got like 148 million views on it. So maybe it's one of those songs where we've heard it and we didn't know the name of the band. Let's see. Won the poll. Pet Shop Boys, West End Girls.
Sometimes you're better off dead. There's a gun in your hand that's pointing at your head. You think you're mad, too unstable, kicking in chairs and knocking down tables in a restaurant in a West End town. Call the police, there's a madman around, running down underground to a dive bar in a West End town. In a West End town, a dead end world, with the East End boys and West End girls. In a West End town, a dead end world, with the East End boys and West End girls. West End girls.
This is a super 80s, man.
Too many shadows, whispering voices, faces on posters, too many choices. If, when, why, what, how much have you got? Have you got it, do you get it? If so, how often? Which do you choose, a hard or soft option? In a West End town, a dead end world, the East End boys and West End girls.
You know, man, I'm always in this strange. I've heard the song, guys. I think George and I both said
I've
that.
heard the only part I remember before you get into it, Ryan, is right where we stopped. That's it. That's all I remember.
West End Girls.
Yeah.
Da-doom. You know, I'm always caught in the middle, man, when we do 80s, man. because I feel like, oh yeah, I do remember that, man. But I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I liked it then, and I don't know if I like it now. So I'm always caught in the middle when we do 80s songs like this, because I'm like, yeah, it sounds 80s and I do remember it, but
Are you like confusing nostalgia with if you actually like it?
yeah,
Is that kind of what it seems like?
yeah, but it's like, I feel kind of corny liking it now. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I like it. So my emotions are so all over the place when I listen to 80s music now. You know what I mean? Unless it's something that I loved as a kid. Because you hear the extra 80s cheese now. You know what I mean? Because music has just is so far removed from what it sounded like then. But there's a beauty to the music back then, because it's very nostalgic and it really brings back memories.
Yeah, you remember the time.
Yeah, so I'm always kind of caught in the middle. I'm like, I don't know. And I always think about what you guys think about watching this. I'm like, I wonder what they're thinking when they watch it. Like, why are they even doing this? That's, you know what I mean? Or if some people are like, oh, I'm so glad that they did it. And I feel like some people are like, man, turn that shit off, please. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
So I'm just kind of always in the
Someone's
middle.
always saying that, by the way.
Yeah.
No matter what song we do, there's someone somewhere that like, please turn that shit off. There's someone that hates every song that we do. For me, 80s is no confusion whatsoever. I think it's it's actually going up, my love for 80s as more we react to the 80s. I think I like 80s almost as much as I like the 90s at this point. So it's one of my favorite decades. But this particular song is interesting because it's he's rapping in the first verse, and then he starts to sing this sort of I don't know what to call it, right? It's lounge like singing or something like that. Like, is it it's almost like a 70s style singing. Yeah. But the song sounds very 80s in that it's using these the keyboard to kind of keep to hold the atmosphere in the background. Yeah. That right? And then it's got like almost like a slightly funky bass line in it. And then he's rapping, and then it's like, but he's rapping in a way that almost feels like he's numb inside at the same time. Yeah. Sometimes you're better off dead. There's a gun in your hand. Like, it reminds me of Depeche Mode a little bit, like this numbness that I feel like they sing like they're dead inside, but it kind of works to me in a weird way. So that I don't know what to think of this song. I'm just expressing my thoughts. But I don't really know what I think of this song right this second, so we're gonna keep it. We're gonna let it rock.
Too many shadows, whispering voices, faces on posters. Too many choices. If, when, why, what? How much have you got? Have you got it? Do you get it? If so, how often? Which do you choose? A hard or soft option? In a western town, a dead end world. The eastern boys and western girls. In a western town, a dead end world. The eastern boys and western girls. West
God, that's such an interesting listen.
It doesn't sound bad to me though.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I've just heard it, and again, it's just, I'm so far removed from the '80s. That sound, and I guess now that I'm older and I listen to that, man, I'm just like, yeah, it's just not for me. Yeah. So it's just hard for me to even engage with it. It's just like, yeah, been there, done that. Let's move on. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I
got you.
feel about it. But it doesn't sound bad.
It
doesn't sound bad, It's just it's just 80s. You know what I mean? I don't like nothing old but my money. This is what it is.
And Black Sabbath.
That's it. Nah, but yeah, that's a no for me, dog. Yeah, that's a no for me. That was a struggle to get through.
I got you. Odd listen for me. Odd listen. And this is coming from someone who loves 80s. And like I said earlier, my appreciation and love for the 80s has only increased, actually, after doing more reactions and listening to it more. But this was an odd listen. But it says this song was about London in the 80s, and I guess it was divided into the wealthy West End and the more down at heel East End. I'm assuming that's the poor side. The major entertainment center of London is based around the West End, and us boys used to hang around there in hopes of landing a West End girl in an effort to kind of socially climb, I guess they said. So when I think of that, man, I'm just trying to capture the vibe, right? I'm trying to capture what was going on. So I'm picturing like what do they call it? The ends, at least on the UK hip hop side, they call certain spots like the other side of the track, the rough side of the tracks, they call it the rough ends, the ends, right? So I'm thinking of dudes coming from the ends in London around the 80s, trying to get them a little West End girl, said it's a turn up wet. And it looks like there's some drugs involved. Like how much you need is, I'm taking that when he said how much you need is like, there's drugs, there's activity, there's one night stands that they're trying to kind of get going here. Cause it said, we've got no future. We've got no past here today, built to last. So no future, no past. I'm taking that as all we have is the present. So maybe it's in reference to maybe a one night stand with a West End girl. And I just think that that's just what I'm getting out of the song. Like it's a time capsule for dudes that grew up in London, that young dudes in the 80s where there was a social divide and they were just trying to get in the scene, is how I feel. So I'm sure for people that grew up around that time, maybe in London, this really hits home. But I just thought that was an odd listen. The rapping, I just didn't think sounded really good. It's just very awkward. And yeah, just not enough in the music, even though it felt 80s, not enough in the music to grab me, not really catchy. But I can somewhat still understand why this appealed because of the rapping, because of the things I mentioned. He's rapping, but then he's got a lounge singing part here in the verses, and then it's got the 80s, typical 80s synth, whatever going on in the background. So I can understand how it worked, but not for me. Thank you to everyone that voted for this one on the poll. And keep in mind, guys, I want y'all to understand, don't get discouraged. I really I'm actually... Dude, I heard, just so y'all know, so don't put this on a poll, Depeche Mode, Best Friend, I was listening to that the other day, and I didn't know I had heard that song until it came on the radio, because I was listening to 80s radio shit the other day. I was like, who is this? And it was Depeche Mode, Best Friend. I was banging that. I was thoroughly enjoying that song, and that to me is in the same kind of bag as this, kind of weird 80s synthy shit. So I want y'all, don't get discouraged and not... with Crest and stuff, man. Just keep it coming. We just didn't like this song, but don't get discouraged. Once again, shout out to everybody that participated on that poll, that 80s extravaganza poll. Maybe we'll suggest some other options off that poll as well. And make sure y'all follow that group, man. The link for that will be in the description. Also follow our Patreon channel. That's it. I'm George. That's Ryan. Los to Vegas. We out.